I want to start with the UI images. Where is the libraries? If you see on top, there's a plus sign. Click that plus sign, then you will have many of those. So if we want to see images, then you can say IM, then there's the image views. So drag and drop that image views somewhere here. I want to make this like this. Very nice, right? Right now, as I said, this is a view. I have a code here. This code does not know anything about that image view. What should we do? As I link this view and back and coding list, every user interface components on this view, if you want to handle this view by coding, then you have to connect to codings. Okay? To do that, watch this. So like this, and I want to make a bigger space here. So close this, and then there is a another small icon. It says editor, add editor on right. So if you click this, then I have an editor, another editor here, and another editor here. So on the left side, I want to have this only the main storyboard. On right hand side, I want to bring the coding list. So by click view controller. So on the right hand side, I have a coding list. On the left hand side, I have storyboard. Easily I can connect from storyboard UI component to the coding list. How? Here is what you need to do. This is your mouse, right? So I want you to hold down control button, holding down control button, keep holding down, and then click drag and drop. Oops. Drag and drop here. Just inside the class, but not inside the class, but outside any the functions. So just right below this class. And then release your fingers from both. Then you can see here connection. So what it does is I want to connect UI components from storyboard to the coding list. But the way that I want to connect is outlet. There is other things, in this case outlet, but some other cases, some actions. Action is required, like button. Button, then we need to put actions, right? But right now, this is only outlets. What it means is that it simply inactively holds something, okay? So type of this is UI image views. That's what we had, right? But I want to have a name. This is the name of this UI view controller as a variable in my coding list. So I need to declare variable name. So variable name usually my tip for you when you make the variable name. I need to make your variable name starting with type. In this case, image view. So I said IV. That's for image view. Followed by name that you want to name it. So we can say IV photo. And then connect. Click on the connect button here. Then you will be able to see some of the statements up here on the coding list. Click this. See, there is a, this is a statement. You don't need to type, but this is already created by connecting from here there, right? This IV photo. What I want to do is, okay, this is a class. I know you guys already learned simple code, right? I think Python, right? Python you learned. Although it may not be object orientation, but say this is an object. The coding lists are encapsulated as a class. So this is class name view controller. Class name will be the name of this file. And the class has this kind of variables, and also class has a function. So we have a function. This is a default function given. This is a simply variable. So variable name is IV photo. Var, there's a for variable, IV photo, colon. What is the type of this? UI image view. This is the type. Exclamation means here, this variable should not contain null values. When we use that variable, then we need to have that photo, particular photo, exclamations. As opposed to exclamation mark, there is a question mark at the end of the type. Question mark means optional. It could be null values. As far as we want to display photo on this image view, then image should be available. That's what it means. It's not optional. Image view should be available. And this is a function. Function name already given. View did load. This view did load. We didn't define this, but we want to download it from superclass. What is the superclass of my current view controller? Superclass is this. This guy is a superclass. View controller is my class, colon. This is a superclass. So name, colon, followed by superclass already defined, or that superclass will be the type of this. Like this, IV photo, there's my variable, colon, followed by, this is the type. But actually this is yet another class. That class given, that class already defined. You don't need to worry about it. Sometimes you can rewrite it. We'll do that another case. Rewrite in that case. I want to add more features to the class already defined because I need to do more. Unless otherwise you don't need to do anything. You simply say, hey, I want to create my class, but I want to make class just like you. Just like you. That is the way that I can say, hey, I am your type. Okay? You want to say it like that, right? I want to be like you. I am your type. You want to be Abraham Lincoln, then you're my type. Something like that, right? You don't know anything about Abraham Lincoln. Already statue. So I am your type. So you can say me, colon, Abraham Lincoln. Then I am a type of Abraham Lincoln. Okay. But this Abraham Lincoln has already some of the features. Okay. One of those features is this function. That guy says, hey, when this view is first loaded, then you have to do this. Do this means you have to list something that inside of this. So view did load. When this view is loaded, before doing anything else, do this. Do that, then you have to put something here. Okay? In our case, for example, I want to do IV photo. And then I want to give some images. So image. I want to put image. And my image usually I can say no. Here I want to put for example UI image, and I want to make this. There are multiple ways that you can do. UI image name. What I want to do is I want to make a UI image, and then I'll assign to this particular IV photo.images. Assignment here, right? Right hand side, whatever the real image I want to display it on your this here on this place. But I need to have a image, real image. The way that I want to access is by name. So I have some name string. I need to bring some images, right? So to do that, this file organizer here on the left side, there is an assets. Click that assets. This may confuse you, right? This is asset. I removed the other editor. So we have here some of the names, right? What you need to do is you need to find out some of the images on your folder. Okay? So I want to make some of the images. What do I have images? I have some images. What is this? Apple's PNG images. This is something. Want to make kind and PNG. Folder. Kind. Okay, here PNG. Not many. Let's see another folder. If I have zip files, PDF, JPEG. I have a JPEG. Morrissey Harrison Square. JPEG. Morrissey logo blue. Morrissey logo red. Let's see this class work. If we have any. I have some here. So many. Is it real ones? What is it? Mount Vernon, President, Washington, PNG? Oh, only photo. I mean the map. I want to get good photo. Echo PNG. Apple D shot? No. Where do I have images? JPEG, Mercy. Let's see, Mercy Hudson Square. Oh, this is good. Okay, so I want to bring this. What you need to do is, you can simply bring drag and drop. Oops. Drag and drop. Okay. And then you can say, this is a name too long, right? You can change it. Say 1, number 1. That's that name. Okay. And then come back here, view controller. You can say number 1. I'm not sure this is, we need to put that type. Should we put that type of that images? Probably not, right? Only 1. Okay, this much, and then we can build by click this. Then build succeed, and emulator shows. We want to see doing anything else. Before doing anything else, if that photo comes up, then ideally that this function works. View did load function works. See here, view did function load works, right? Before doing anything else, this image brought up here. How? The way you did here. IB photo that we already that UI view image taken from the library, drag and drop to storyboard, and that is connected to this coding list. So we declare our own variable. Type of that variable is UI image view. And when do I need to load that image? Then I said if I want to put this view did load function, then when this view first loaded, anything inside can be executed. So here I have one statement, view assignment. So IB photo.image into that container holder is a view image holder, image container. Into it, I take image name called 1 because I changed it 1. This is 1. Others I do not have, but here number 1, there's that images, right? That I made this. Nice, right? If you do this step by step, then you can make it easily. Okay, let's do further. So we have this. Now we want to do another view. from first view to second view, how we can make it, okay? So to do that, we need to come back here on top, very on top, there is an editor. There is an embed in. One of the menu is embed in. And then there is a navigation controller. So click this. Okay. Once more, editor, embed in, and navigation controller. If you click this, then see what happens. I have it here, navigation controller. So navigation controller is on top, controlling navigation. Navigation is from one view to navigate to another view. In turn, navigate to another and another. From there, we can navigate. So we don't do this much. This is only some manifesting, okay, on top. This is real, what we are trying to do. So we need to have another view. So from navigate from here to there. To do that, we need to bring another library. And if you type here view, then you may be able to see view and view controller. Then there is a view controller. This is the same as this view controller. So bring this, place it here. This is view controller. And you need to have some button from that button to here. By clicking one button, that goes to the second. So you need to have another button here. Click this, and if you put button, then button comes here. Okay. So this is a button. If you bring your inspector here, and this is the identity inspector, right? One next to it says attribute inspector. If you click this, then this is a button. It's called the button. But you can say sign in. Enter. Then it'll be changed to sign in. And foreground, if you click, say, blue foreground, background, let's see, where is the background? Here, background. I want to put background blue. Of course, then foreground should be changed, right? Foreground, I want to put white. System background colors. So white. So sign in. I want to make it bigger. Then font, custom regular size. Let's see. I want to make it bold. Okay, this much. This is a button. So when this button clicked, it goes to next. In order to do that, again, connection is very, very important. This button is not connected to the coding list by itself, right? Yet. So we need to do that. And this button needs to go to next view, another connection. And this view itself does not have codings. So we need to create another file, and that file needs to be connected with this view. So those things needs to be done, right? So first, I want to create a file for this. So coding list, coding files should sit behind this view. To do that, we need to have here come top menu, file, and new. There is the file. Click on file, and then Swift file. That's fine. And iOS and Swift file, and next, and file name, you can say two-factor authentication. We're doing now access control, right? From first view, we ask user to enter login name and password and sign in. Then it goes to two-factor, the next views. Create. So see here, two-factor file appears. This is a view controller. This is two-factor. You can move this if you want. So we have back-to-back. And main, this is storyboard later, right? This two-factor should be linked with this, right? So we need to see, come back here on the inspector. There's identity inspector. This is a view. And this is two-factor, this is a coding list. Then you need to say, we have to link them. Then come back here in the class, make sure if there is any two-factor. It doesn't appear yet, right? So sometimes it takes time. It should be automatically. Two-factor not really yet shown. Meanwhile, we can say another editor here. On the left side, there's a view controller that we looked at. On the right-hand side, this is two-factor. Right side, there's two-factor. Left side, there is a view controller. See here, this view controller. Here, in this case, we don't have anything yet. So we have to change something. Here, UI kit. Very similar to the way that we do here. Okay? And then you can say class. And class name should be this, two-factor. So you should have two-factor. This two-factor is a subclass of UI view controller. Click this, and then open and close parentheses. Inside, by default, you need to have this view did load. If we want to create this view did load on the right side also, then you simply type here view did load. That appears here and says method. So click, this is what you want. Click this, then automatically it says override function view did load, just like we did. Here we need to do some code. We don't do anything yet. Simply delete it. Up to this point, we have a view controller that here, and then two-factor. There's a two-factor, right? Fine. Now, I want to close one of those. And on here, I want to bring main again. I want to make sure the class for this is available. Come back here. By the way, here we have a two-factor, right? Click that two-factor, hit enter, then they are connected now. This is a two-factor, and this is view controller. So two-factor and view controller both are available now. Now we need to do this from here there. Holding down control button and drag and drop from that button to right view. And release, then it says action segue. You need to take some action, right? Action, the segue to navigate. Here you need to simply show. So that it will be shown. They are connected over there. Okay. If you want to emulate it, see emulate by clicking that and replace that emulator. Now this sign in button appears, right? If you click this, go to next. This is that. And there is no nothing. If you click back button, come back. This goes next view. This come back. All right? So segue works. Segue goes to next and come back. This back button is not rewind. As I said, if you want to pass some of the value, some of the data from two-factor view to the first view, then not just the back button, you need to have another. When data available, so-called completion handling, second view is completed, then rewind back to the first view. That is the concept. So far, so good? Fun? But when you do practice, a little bit headache. Headache, automatic. You need to pay the price. Then there will be a reward. Okay? No pain, no gain. Okay? Pain comes first. I can do this for my amusement because I paid the price so many times in my life. So at the end, in the future, Wayne, you will enjoy this. Right now, do not expect amusement. You need to encounter some of the pains. Okay? Resolve that. Okay, so many things still needs to do. We cannot do this all today. But I will post my recordings. But your homework still valid. Still valid. What I'm showing to you today, this is a basic. So you can do this, practice, and then another recordings. So that is the real recordings that you have to follow to complete your second homework assignments. But anyway, okay. So this is through this segue, you want to send some data to another view, and another view you need to bring some data back. That's what we want to do today. Okay. So we need to do another here label. Go here, label. And then another thing, text field. Then bring the text field here. I want to make this a little bit. And in this label, I can say login ID. Okay, I can say that, and this is aligned. This is the button. You can say others, for example, if you want to do, then highlight this label and text field, and Command C for copy and Command V for paste, and bring that here. And you can say here, this is a password. And this password needs to be a little bit on the left side. Password and that. So read it when user enter this, then click sign in, then it goes to next. And I want to by the way, this UI library, if you simply click it, then it shows the library, and when you pick one library item, then it disappears automatically. If we want to leave that library open, then what you need to do is holding down Option button and click this, then it'll stay here. When you take multiple times. So I want to make this here a label. If we want to say something, right? I want to make two labels. Copy and paste. And here I would say hello. This label, I don't need to do anything. That I can simply say here attribute, I want to leave this blank, label blank. So label there. Oh, that label disappeared. I need to have, I want to make this a little bigger. But this hello is disappeared. Yeah, that is there, and that is there. I want to put them in the center. Somewhere here. And I want to put here button on another button. So button here. I would say verify me. You can go back here. But you don't do segue, come back here. This is another way that you need to do. Usually this one, when this second view is exit, when this second view is completed, then go back to the view that calls itself, right? This guy, left view called second view. When this second view completed, go back to the caller. That is not the same way of segue. Segue, you click this, it goes to whatever designated by this segue This is, when you complete this, go back to your master. That is the idea. If you done this, then you can close this. Okay. We need to make another here. And on the right hand side, I want to have a view controller. View controller, we have only this variables, right? I need to have this button. Come back here. I need to have a login ID, so that login ID can be taken, and I want to send whatever user entered the login ID to the second view. And on the second view, I said, hey, Mr. Yoon. So Yoon, if I typed it, then it should be carried over to the second view through the segue. That's what we need to do. So I want to make a little more space here, and this text field, holding down Control, and make this, and then there is a text field, TF, and I would say login. That's my variable. And I want to make more space in bottom. This is another function, right? Button, that is an action, that is a function, not just a variable, right? So holding down this and drag and drop that. Oops. Come down here. It says action. See here, action. Connection is action by default. This guy is smart. And I want to name it. So button, there's a btn, and I want to say sign in. btn sign in, that is the function name, and click connect button. When you make this from to right hand side, then usually you need to have some other function called the prepare. So if you have a prepare, that is method prepare. Okay, so click that. Then it says override prepare, whatever that, right? Code that we need to do. What we need to do is, when you click this, you need to read user enter the value, and that value should come to this two-factor. You need to write it here. When user enter login ID, Wayne, click sign in, then this second view comes up. When this second view comes up, automatically your name appears here. That's what I want to do, right? So that username needs to be another variable. So you can put here variable username, that is you simply empty, and that username needs to be, by the way, this is a this is a function, this is another function, and another function, right? And this guy is on the top level. For safety, you can simply say that is a self dot and then username. That username can be assigned by reading this TF login. TF login is this text field But you need to, from this text field, you need to take text out and assign that to this variable. So dot, then you have to text. So take that text and assign to this variable, my variable here. This guy says, I want to make sure, are you going to make sure this is an absolutely explicit value or optional? This guy asked me to do. Are you going to put there question mark or exclamation mark? I would say exclamation mark. By having this exclamation mark, that error goes away, right? Next thing that we need to do, we need to say here we need to first define, right, the variable. Actually, what we need to do here, we need to go this prepare goes through this segue. But if you say here prepare function, then there is a variable called segue. So if you do segue label, that segue label has destination. See here, and then if you hit the dot notation, then there is a segue. After that, I need to have a destination. This segue destination is destination as the two-factor function, this two-factor. So you can say two-factor. That is the segue destination. And this segue, you can say, hey, I want to make it my variable. Let means another way that you can declare variable. We declare a variable called var. There's a variable, clearly. This let, if you say let, then there's a constant, which means the value, this destination, will not be changed. In that case, you need to do let. And then you can say two-factor. This is my variable. Into that two-factor, well, it's too early to do that. Now we need to do this guy. So bring this two-factor, okay? So we need to do this guy. This is another label, should come. This guy is not yet ready, right? Two-factor already, but this guy didn't do it yet. So in this case, the best way is you need to close this, stop task, and come back. So this right here, double click it. All right. So let's see if this is recognized. I want to connect this UI component to my coding list. Therefore, this is a UI view. Behind, we have this coding list, UI view and coding list. Each of these components needs to be connected to this coding list. Therefore, I can do some of codings, right, based upon this UI graphical components. So I have to not just declare here locally, but whatever you declare here, the variable, if it is related with the UI component, then you need to use it. You need to connect it. So holding down, come back here. Now it recognized, right? So you can say here label and login name. So login name is. So what you need to do, when this second view is loaded, then you can say this LB login view. Another thing that you need to do is you need to create a variable login name equals empty, and then that login name should be assigned to that graphical components. This login name variable needs to be assigned to this component, which means that is written here. But this login name, this one currently nothing, right? Empty. This should be given from the first view. Should be passed from the first view. So what we need to do, on the left side editor, I want to bring the first view. This guy needs to prepare to plug this login name. That login name, on the second view's login name, should be the username on the first view, which is typed by user entered. So here, if this segue is successfully defined for specific destination with that two-factor view controller, then we can say two-factor dot, look at this, two-factor dot, this page, LB login name, this login name is this guy login name, second. This login name, on the first page login name is, the variable is username. On the second page, I call it different name, login name. That login name can be available here. So I click this. That can be seen from the first page, which means they now know. On the second page login name, I want to say self dot username. So as this segue is prepared, this user entered username plugged into the label on the second view. See how it works. So here, if I say Yoon and click sign in, look at this. This guy says Yoon. If I say Coel, sign in, Coel. Nice, right? Back button. Now, main. Here we will have another text field. Okay. Let's say this text field should be here, right? So I need to connect to this text field. And then I can say text field number. Okay. And I want to have here, this is a button. So I want to put this button here. Then that is an action. So btn, and then verify me. Verify me button. So we need to do something. What I want to do here, on the second view, when user enter the value here, I want to make this a little, yeah, this way they can be seen clearly, right? Same thing here. If you want to make this, then come here, border style. If you click this, then you can see clearly. Originally, dimmed lines, outlines, right? This is clear outlines. So when user enters some value and click this, if you want to, you can put, say here, enter the number. Enter number and then click this, then goes to next. So we have this already, yeah, text field here, and verify me there. Okay. And then on the first two here, we need to do one more thing. When the second view returned back to first view, then we have to receive something from there, right? To do that, I want to have yeah, one more thing that we need to do. Back here, on the first two here, I want to have one label here. So label, yeah, label. This label comes here. That label I want to connect also. Here, label number. I want to put that label number there. Okay, so ready. So on the left side, I want to work on view controller. On the right hand side, two-factor. This guy needs to send something to this left side. Okay, so we need to have another function. That function needs to be, for example, we need to write a new function. You can say did unwind, but in order to do that, this is not just a simply function, but it should be IB action function. Like this. This is IB action function. This should be some of the functions. So do this and did you can say unwind from two-factor. You simply say that and underscore sender colon UI storyboard I want you to simply take it as is for a while, see what it means. When you declare this function, then one variable, sender. This is another variable. Well, that's actually the same variable, but two names. That is something different from other languages. Like here, btn sign in, then we have a variable, two names for the same parameter. This is a sender, then this sender is locally used. This is the variable that caller can use. That much this time, okay? Later, if you need to do, then it's too much right now. And after that, you can simply say, yeah, you need to have another sender, and then sender has a source. Oh, it's not yet ready. Sender. I think this is not storyboard. Sender is not storyboard itself, but storyboard segue. Yeah, storyboard segue. That is important. And then sender dot source. Sender dot source as two-factor. And then you can say this is simply optional, and then you send this to the variable, say let, and then source. And then, yeah, fine. And then this source has some value that you need to send it to, but it's not yet to this yet. This is a little bit tricky here. Okay, for the moment, we want to come back here, the storyboard. Remember that this guy, from the second view to first view, there's a back button. If you do back button, then no value can be passed. So by clicking this verify me button, then this guy needs to, this is a verify me button. This guy needs to do something to pass the value to the first view. First thing that you need to do is, you need to bring that all the way up here, exit, then look at this. Action segue, did unwind from two-factor, you need to click this. Remember that this, if I click here, in the first view, I said here, the function did unwind from two-factor. This is my defined function, right? So if you click, bring up here, then did unwind from two-factor. This guy already picked up, but you have to confirm this is there. Did I do that? If you do not know yet, but click this button and come back here. On the right hand side, it shows a connection inspector. Click this. Oh yeah, this verify me button action goes to unwind. Did unwind from, that is connected already. When I do this, I thought, did I click or not? But luckily, I already clicked it, so that is available. So that is available. So now, coding. We need to complete the codings. First, on the second view, this is a little bit tricky. So completion handler. Completion handler is a little bit tricky things. So here you have to define public, define a variable. Variable, you name it, but we can say completion. Complete, C-O-M-P-L-E-T-I. Yeah, completion, and then you can say handler. And that is, type of that is, rather than using anything already defined, what you need to do is, I want to take input and output is void. You guys already know the C language. Void means you don't return anything. But input, there is a string type. So you can say string, optional. That is a variable called the completion handler. That completion handler needs to be handled. It's optional by taking. This completion handler says input is string. So you say here input. That input, what do you want to put there? You want to put there this TF number. So you need to say TF number dot text. So when user enter here number, when user enters some number, there's a TF number. That number needs to be the text. That number needs to be taken and send it to remove. Okay, remove there. And one more statement. After that, you have to dismiss this second view. Second view should not. After that completion, user enter value. There's a completion of the second view, and that is taken. There's a pass that is passed to the first view. There's a completion handler. After that, this view itself needs to be dismissed. Dismiss animated, and then you can say true. Dismiss animated true. Okay. And in the first view controller, you need to say we already defined LB number, right? This LB number from the second views. So here LB number dot text that can be fed from the src dot I think there is a tx number dot text, but it's not shown. Oh, here tf number dot text. This tf number defined here, tf number, right? Tf number is known by the first view, so that can be written. I think this is it. And after that, we need to build. Fail. Which ones? If it is failed, then there is some here class to factor has no initializations over two. Which ones needs to be initialized? two-factor number completion, two-factor number. Initialize or two-factor. Two-factor has no initializer. This is tricky ones. In this case, something not initialized. Handler. So here. Okay, that's disappeared. What I did here, this completion handler, I put there optional. Not sure it. Oh, succeeded. Yeah, that one succeeded. And I put here Yoon goes to sign in, and then I put here whatever the number, 5, 6, 7, 8, and verify me. Come back here. Oh. Ooh. What happens? Fatal error, unexpected found nil. We can say. And then we put here completion. Completion nil. Okay, and then product, I want to see here clean build folder. I want to clean it. Sometimes this guy what's happening? Okay, run it. And Yoon, sign in. Hello Yoon, enter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Verify me. Oh, great. So 1, 2, 3, 4 came up here, right? So when I go back there, and if I 998888, verify me. 9988. Go back. If you do this back button only, then that this value is not coming from, right? Go there. I don't have anything here. It should be, for example, 3333. Back button here. That 3333 does not come back here. You need to only buy through this verify me. Then it come back here. Little bit things like question mark and an exclamation mark. Mark those two symbols indicate whether that variable needs value explicitly or optionally. Depending upon that, there's some tricky error comes. But you need to switch one to another and then little more work, then find out. Finally, it'll work. Little bit of a headache. Do not expect no headache. Okay, that's my experience. I think this is it for today's lecture. Real homework assignments that you need to follow. That'll be on another recordings. So you need to follow another record. Practice these recordings and do your homeworks. You follow the second recordings. Okay. Due for this first homework assignments, I'll give you not only a week, maybe 10 days, so you will have a little more time, because this is the first time that you need to use. All right. Any question, Wayne? By the way, we have only one student, Wayne, today. Thank you so much.
Is it save automatic, or you have to press file save?
Oh, I have to, yeah.
File save?
I have to link. Same thing here.
Oh, link.
Wait, right. I have to connect it to your Blackboard so that you can see it.
Okay.
Exactly same one that we did. This iPhone apps, when you have storyboard and the coding list separately created, then you have to connect piece by piece, not everything automatically.